Have you ever seen a prince who was hated long before his engagement was broken off? Hi, it's me. When he wakes up, he finds himself in the world of the automn game Prism Lovers, commonly known as Prai Raba, which he played when he was in Japan. He is reborn as 8-year-old Sieg, a delusional prince who is on the verge of being condemned by Misty, the daughter of a marquis. By becoming friends with Misty, he seems able to avoid being condemned, but his popularity among those around him is at its lowest. I humbly offer this warning. Sieg-sama is hated by everyone in the royal palace except for your family. You're kidding me, is that even possible? In the game, he was a perfect prince loved by everyone, but now he begins his life as Sieg Colin, a useless prince who is unreasonably hated. Episode 1. I woke up from a dream and it was Zeke Misty. I am breaking off my engagement right here and now. That day, many nobles had gathered at the royal palace's social venue. The voice echoed throughout the party, celebrating the founding of the Kingdom of Colin, where all the nobles of the kingdom were celebrating. The person being referred to is Misty Claudia, daughter of the Marquis Claudia family. She has beautiful blonde hair that looks like shining gold thread, blue eyes, and although she may seem a little headstrong, her gaze captivates everyone and gives the impression of a strong core, and above all, it is said that her beauty is unmatched anywhere in the country. Furthermore, he graduated second in his class. Glaring at Misty was the country's first prince, Sieg Colin. She is good-looking and has excellent grades. While still a student, he actively participated in national political affairs and is a truly talented individual with a bright future. How could two people who were such good friends? I had heard about it, but I never thought. I can hear the voices of the nobles watching from the surrounding area. Misty frowned, biting her lip as she looked at Sieg. Your Highness, breaking off the engagement. And why at a celebratory occasion like this? I've been meaning to say this for a while, but... Sieg glances at King Harut Karan, who is sitting on the throne in the back. I just felt I had to tell it in front of His Majesty, that's all. No, why should we break off our engagement in the first place? Did I do something? You're telling me you don't remember doing this? Zeke looks back. A petite noblewoman came out from behind. Her name is Stella Warden. She is the daughter of the noble Warden family. She has brown hair that reaches down to her shoulders, a slender body that looks like it could break, and a cuteness like that of a small animal, making her a lovely appearance that would make any man want to protect her. She looks up at Zeke, then at Misty, then gently grabs Zeke's arm and hides in the shadows. Do you know her? Yes, I sometimes see him at school. I know he is a good friend of His Highness. Is that all? Yes, I know you've been harassing Stella. The surrounding nobles' voices grew louder as they listened to Sieg's words. Most people say they can't believe it. It's a misunderstanding, that's not the case. I heard it from her, right? Yes, it's true. I am sorry for all the harassment she's caused me. Stella begins to cry as she holds onto Zeke's arms. Sieg looked down and glared at Misty. Then he pointed at Misty. I say it again, Misty Claudia. I am breaking off my engagement with you. As the noise in the hall grew louder, a loud sigh was heard. I see. I understand. In that case, I have an idea, came Misty's cold voice. A world you've seen, a world view you've heard of. A friend forced me to play Prism Lovers, a romance game for women, but I unexpectedly got hooked and ended up playing it multiple times. I found myself in the world of Puri Raba for short. Moreover, he was Prince Sieg, who had unreasonably broken off their engagement. What a terrible dream. After all, he faces a ruinous future after that. Why would I be with such a prince? I got up from the bed to go to the bathroom. The bed seems bigger and softer than usual. Or rather, isn't the room spacious? I wonder if I'm still dreaming, and my visibility seems strangely low. As I was thinking about this, I suddenly looked at the large mirror in the room in the dim light. I instinctively pointed at the person in the mirror. Episode 2. Suddenly, Yurei asking me to go to a party. Yurei kidding. I was stunned for a while, then I touched my body again through the mirror. The body is small and still thin. Red hair and eyes, a beautiful face despite her young age. A face that is definitely familiar. It was none other than Prai Raba's first prince, Sieg. Sieg, haha. He let out a dry laugh. In the Prai Raba setting, Sieg is treated as the first prince of the Karan royal family. He is a prince with outstanding looks, a sharp mind, first-rate sword skills, and a talent for magic, making him an all-rounder. A prince whose success is guaranteed. That's the standard in automn games. The main character in this Prai Raba is completely different. Typically, the protagonist is of low social status, beautiful and kind-hearted, but because of her poor origins, she is harassed by the daughter of an aristocrat who is engaged to a prince of higher social status than her. A so-called villainous daughter, but she turns the slander around and has a happy ending with the prince. That's the standard story. However, the production company of this game disagreed with the existing romance games, and in response to fan requests that the villainous young lady, who has been wholeheartedly in love with the prince since she was a child, be the one who should be saved, they made the protagonist the villainous young lady herself and created a story in which she gets a happy ending. In other words, the story begins with the protagonist, who plays the villainous young lady, denouncing the prince who suddenly broke off her engagement, and then falls in love with many handsome princes and knights she meets. In short, the delusional prince who broke off the engagement was the scapegoat. By the way, after that incident, the only option left for me was a bad ending where I would suffer a tragic fate. Seriously, why did Prince Sieg do such a thing? In fact, it was my support for the main character, Misty Claudia, who plays the villainous young lady, that led me to become hooked on this game. But there's no way anyone would break off an engagement. The voice comes out as I roll around on the bed. Or rather, if I'm Prince Sieg, then if things continue like this, it's guaranteed to be a bad ending. I wonder what happened in the end, but I'm sure there was some variation in the execution, with some being beheaded, being demoted to a remote area, or being crucified. It's as if she has a grudge against the misguided prince. What should I do? I really don't want to end up being publicly beheaded. I really don't want that. As I was still rolling around in bed, I heard a knock. "Excuse me, Sieg-sama. Dinner is already ready. Please hurry and get ready." I got it. I got up from the bed and opened the door to find a respectful middle-aged butler with a handsome white beard. I think it was the butler, Sebastian. Sebastian looked surprised as soon as he saw me. "Sieg-sama, that appearance is as expected." Picture, when I looked at myself after being told, I realized that I was completely in my pajamas. "I think there are some clothes ready for you over there." "Oh yeah, sorry." Home, I hurried back to my room and changed into the clothes that were on the desk. It was the first time I wore a bow tie. Although I felt uncomfortable in my clothes, I headed to the room I was shown to. The interior of the room is very sophisticated. The long table had a white tablecloth and not a speck of dust on it. Thick cylindrical pillars, red carpet. Looking up at the high ceiling, you can see stained glass windows. Maids were standing silently at regular intervals along the wall. Bourgeois, the fantasy world was here. Too late. Sitting in the back is Zeke's father, the king of the kingdom of Karin. "Art Kallan, you always oversleep." His mother, Laura Kallan, said kindly, "And it can't be helped, he's my brother." The one who spoke coldly was the clever-looking Tigos Karan sitting in the foreground. "Wait a second, Tigos, why?" Just sit down." "Why yes, sorry." I sat down with a question mark in my head. While eating the sumptuous food, I inwardly tilt my head in confusion. Tigos is my younger brother, but I am pretty sure he's 8 years younger than me. Tigos is a hidden character who appears in the game at age 10 and is also known as the Shota Root. But no matter how you look at it, he looks to be around my age. When I look at myself in the mirror in my room, I think I look about 8 years old at best. "That's strange. Sieg, you've been noisy since morning. Is something wrong?" While I was thinking about it, Haruto spoke to me. "Is it morning?" They said they heard screams coming from the room. "Did you have a bad dream?" Laura asks with a gentle smile. "I was definitely having a bad dream." "Well, it's still in progress." "Hey brother, I'm looking forward to tonight's social party." Tigos spoke quietly. "Oh, a social? What, there's a social party? I've never heard of it before. Why are you surprised?" "Well, you've been skipping dance practice, so you can't dance. I can dance now." "Hey, dancing? I've never heard of that before, and I don't know how to do it if you suddenly ask me." "My goodness, 7-year-old Tigos can dance, but 8-year-old Sieg still can't. It's probably because he keeps skipping lessons. Also, it seems he's been slacking off on his studies and swordsmanship." "Sebas, are you paying any attention to him?" "Very sorry, it's fine. Sieg has his own pace." But Laura puts her hand on her cheek. "At this rate, you might never find a partner." He laughed awkwardly. Night, a social party was held in the royal palace, inviting nobles from all over the capital. The decorated hall was filled with people, tables loaded with food, lively music, and the laughter of nobles. "Brother, it's really delicious." The special dishes prepared by the royal chefs with all their skill tasted even better than the food I usually eat. "Please excuse us while you are enjoying your meal. His Majesty has called for you too, Father." When Sebastian took me there, my parents were talking happily. The other person seems to be a nobleman from somewhere. Judging from his clothes, he looks quite impressive. I feel like I've seen this face somewhere before. Oh, so you're here. Well then, Marquis. Yes, nice to meet you, Sieg-sama and Tigos-sama. My name is Red Claudia. The way he bows respectfully is very elegant. Huh, Claudia, come on, say hello. The child appeared from behind the large man. Nice to meet you, my name is Misty Claudia. An angel appeared. Episode 3, people say that, but I am a prince. I thought she was an angel, but she was Misty Claudia. He is the main character of Pryraba. I've seen her golden hair and blue eyes many times in games, but they're really beautiful in person. She looks like a terrifyingly intricately crafted French doll, but unlike the character design in the game, her eyes seem a little softer. This is the first time I've seen such a young look, but it's great. Also in the game, he gives warnings in a clear tone, which is refreshing since he usually glares at me. But still, she's really cute and the white dress suits her very well. Is it cheating to say that she will become more beautiful as she gets older? And nice to meet you, I am Tigos. Tigos greeted, his face bright red. I guess my voice was high-pitched because I was nervous. Yeah, I understand. I'm nervous too, and I might even recommend her again. Misty bows and then glances at me. I remember laughing a little, thinking it was like a certain manga, wondering what the noble's greetings were like. First, make a fist with your right hand and lightly tap the left side of your chest. I am your brother Sieg, nice to meet you. Give a proper bow. Unlike the flustered Tigos, I bowed politely, and unlike Tigos, Lord Red exhaled slightly in admiration, saying, "Oh. That's different from what I heard." I thought, what were you asking? But then I saw my parents' faces and understood. Both my parents looked at me with a surprised look on their faces. This definitely wasn't a good thing to say about me. Well, like you said during breakfast, it seems like I'm skipping my studies, swordsmanship, and even dance practice, and I often oversleep, right? So it's no wonder people think it's no good. Still, that's strange. I don't think that was the case for me in the game. I mean, Sieg. As I was thinking about it, the conversation turned to studying and other things. I've heard that Misty-sama is excellent in studies, culture, the finer points of a noble lady, and even magic. The teacher is just good. I still have a long way to go. It's a lie, I know it. Zeke is amazing, but Misty is an all-around genius who surpasses him. Perhaps due to the protagonist's bonus, his final magical status is the strongest in the game. I mean, how do you see the status? Wouldn't you be able to see it if you were actually in the game world? Select button. Where on earth did you go? Brother, what are you doing? As I was moving my hand around in the air looking for something, someone looked at me and saw something disgusting. No, nothing. You're normally like that, but this morning it's been even more. Stop saying things like Your Majesty and this. I don't think it's good or acceptable to use such roundabout language. I looked over and saw Misty looking at me with her eyes wide open. I'm not a rare animal, I'm a prince. Well, now that I think about it, I've heard that you two are very talented, but what is your everyday life like? Red returned the conversation. Thank you, future father-in-law. Yes, as a candidate to succeed the king in the future, I run in the garden early in the morning, and after meals I have a teacher accompany me to study and practice swordsmanship every day. Oh, as expected of Lord Tigos. Isn't it tough to have to discipline yourself at that age? That's not true. I love them both, and as royalty it's only natural. I see, that's impressive. Red nodded. That's a great compliment. Tigos is amazing. How about you, Sieg? Yes, I am. You run away from your teachers when it comes to dancing, studying, and swordsmanship, and you often oversleep. Right, brother? Tigos, you bastard. What a thing to say from the sidelines. Well, me too. Hey, father, mother. Sieg is a man of his own accord. He doesn't really like studying. He's a man of his own accord. When I turned to my parents next to me, my father just groaned, and my mother tried to protect me. Did I need to say my own pace twice? That's, haha. Hey, looks like Lord Red is in trouble. What are you going to do about it? My rating is plummeting, even though I only became the prince this morning. Hey, you think Misty is sloppy too, right? Of all people, Tigos even brought up the subject to Misty. This guy, he even tried to expose my bad side to Misty. He really took a liking to Misty. So those malicious remarks were on purpose. Do you dislike studying, Sieg-sama? Misty asked me, tilting her head. I don't really like studying. Well, it's true that I've always hated studying, but I understand that he can't say that anymore since he's a prince. But that doesn't mean I want to become a foolish king who doesn't know arithmetic, culture, swordsmanship, magic, and politics. I will definitely learn them because they are necessary. Is that so? Misty said that and took a step back. And so ended my first encounter with Misty. After the party, Tigos' face was bright red as he praised Misty relentlessly. Is it true that I am in love with this guy too, or rather I just noticed it? If I continue like this, will Tigos end up taking my place as Misty's fiancé? Episode 4. Before I knew it, the teacher had grown fond of me. After breakfast the next day, I immediately decided to study, train in swordsmanship and magic. While studying can be managed thanks to the attached library, swordsmanship and magic are useless without someone to teach them. I am sure that when I was a child, I thought I had a good teacher. Sebas, is my sword or magic teacher not coming today? Sieg-sama, I'm afraid I must say this. The teacher who taught you is now teaching Tigos-sama both swordsmanship and magic. Picture, you've become Tigo's teacher. How did that happen? Needless to say, since Sieg-sama was not motivated, the teachers were getting bored. Seeing the two of them like that, Lord Tigos asked them to teach him. The two of them gladly went to Lord Tigos' class, so it's my fault. I'm afraid I must warn you, but Sieg-sama is disliked by everyone in the royal palace except for his family. Really? Is that even possible? Sebastian nodded respectfully. No, deny that. I mean, doesn't that mean that Sebas secretly hates him too? It was so shocking that I nearly cried. Well, I didn't cry, but it kind of gave off that vibe. But still, this is troubling. I wonder how useless I was until the day before yesterday. To be honest, all I know is the description of Zeke as a child. The game starts with a scene in which Zeke is condemned, so we don't know much about what he was like before he turned 18. I don't know anything about the event. I don't even know that there was a social party yesterday. Can you arrange for a substitute teacher? All of these are possible up to the beginner level. Swordsmanship and magic have their own ranks determined by the country. Beginner, intermediate, advanced, superlative. From the highest level onwards, there is a wide range of ability, and even within the highest level, there are people who hold titles such as Sword Saint. By the way, my original teacher was supposed to be intermediate level. The one teaching Tigos is at the intermediate level, and I am being taught at the beginner level. No, that won't work. I was losing at the very beginning, and now even the teacher is below me, so I don't feel like I can catch up. Why do we only have beginner-level teachers? Sieg-sama, there are many people who want to learn swordsmanship and magic. However, only a limited number of people are skilled enough to teach others. It is also difficult to advance from beginner to intermediate level, and without talent, some people cannot advance even after 10 or 20 years of training. Also, each person has their own job. Even with the authority of the king, there are some who would rather study their own magic, hone their skills, than be a royal tutor, and it cannot be forced upon them. Furthermore, the fact that we were able to invite intermediate-level people is amazing in the first place. So those amazing people were taken from me. If you ask who's at fault, it's me, so I can't be mad, but still. For example, if I were a person of considerable ability and spent my time as the prince's tutor, it'd be more free to do what I wanted. After all, she's pampered wherever she goes, so why would she want to go to a stuffy royal palace? This is a problem. Is there anything I can do? I had no choice but to grab a book from the library and start studying. Even though the books in this country aren't in Japanese, I can read them. I don't know what the principle is, but I'm grateful for it. But still, as I started reading the book, I realized that because I have memories from my previous life, I can do arithmetic and read. If that's the case, wouldn't the amount of studying you have to do actually decrease? For now, Il read a book about the geography and history of the country of Karen, as well as the situation surrounding it. From what I read in the book, the Kingdom of Colin is a relatively new emerging country, founded 300 years ago, but the nobles are loyal to the royal family and are very united, so it is apparently a powerful nation that is feared by surrounding countries. It seems that there are also cases where the capitals of small countries have been attacked by monsters, but the reason that Carlin has not experienced such a situation may be because the country has a reliable adventurers guild and knight order that regularly exterminate monsters within the territory. Speaking of weaknesses, it seems they don't put much effort into tourism. While reading the book, I looked next to me. Is there something you need? I don't know why, but Sebastian stayed by my side the whole time. His Majesty has asked me to check on Sieg-sama. Isn't Sebas busy? His Majesty's orders take top priority. I want slack off, okay? He is smiling. In short, it means they don't trust him. Well, do as you like. By the way, Sebas, has anything changed recently? Maybe some rumors from neighboring countries would be fine. Yes, I heard that a town in a neighboring country was destroyed by monsters the other day. To a monster. Monsters that gather in groups are dangerous. It's not like our country is doing well in the neighboring countries. Well, unlike the Kingdom of Colin, there are apparently countries that are barely able to survive as nations, so I guess that's possible. What's the name of the town? I thought it was the town of Bells. Bells, Bell. I feel like I've heard that name somewhere before. Ah, Sebas is Bells from the Principality of Rheindal, a neighboring country northwest of the Kingdom of Colin. You know that very well, Sebas said with admiration, but that name sounded very familiar to me. Principality of Rheindor. It's the name that appeared in the game. I believe that right after the knights stationed in Bells went to exterminate a large number of monsters in the nearby mountains, a group of monsters attacked the town from another direction, resulting in the tragic destruction of the town. But that's strange. As far as I remember, this happened 10 years after the game begins. It feels a bit different from the game, with Tigos being 2 years younger. It's not a time paradox, but depending on my actions, something more might change. So the future too. No, wait, maybe. I put down my book and stood up. Sieg, Sebas, I'm heading to the old town of Bells. The Principality of Rheindal has friendly relations with the kingdom, so there shouldn't be any problem if I go there personally, right? That's true, but why? Why? No, if I say something bad, the situation might change, so it's probably better not to tell the truth. I want to go and see it for myself, not just talk about it, but inspect it. Please prepare a carriage and guards. Episode 5, The Foul-Mouthed Guards in the Town of Bells. How much longer until we arrive? About 2 hours. I opened a small window and asked, and one of the guards answered with a bored look on his face. We are currently driving a carriage towards the Principality of Rheindal. The wheels of this fine carriage are well reinforced, so it doesn't struggle even on rough roads. Sebas immediately prepared a carriage with guards and a driver. In addition, they apparently contacted the other country about an inspection, but they told me to do as I pleased. Even though they're a friendly country, they're pretty lax. The guards are 2 elite knights who protect the royal capital, Det and Garam. Det is a big soldier and Galam is a thin soldier. Both of them seem to be intermediate swordsmen. That's excellent. Or rather, why can't I ask my teacher to be my bodyguard when I can assign an intermediate swordsman to be my bodyguard? Why are we being made to guard the stupid prince on our day off? HMPH, don't complain, that's an order from above. I can't do this anymore. I agree. Just before closing the window, I heard this conversation. Debut has no quirks when it comes to speaking, but Garam seems to have a bad nose and is always sniffling. And it seems the two of them are more dissatisfied than expected. In short, she doesn't want to work even on her days off, and she doesn't want to babysit me because I am rumored to be an idiot. I thought about asking a teacher, but I don't think that's possible. If they were to become teachers, there's a chance that they would have to accompany the night soldiers even on their days off. Still, I guess my reputation is a bit too bad. It's just that I am no match for my younger brother, who is 2 years younger than me in terms of studies, swordsmanship, magic, culture, and everyday life. Yes, my brother is the useless prince. It was an undeniable, complete defeat. After driving for a while, a small hill came into view. Several graves are visible. Coachman, stop over there. Yes, we set course for the hills. We get off the carriage at the bottom of the hill. Do you need anything on the hill? Just a moment, come with me. Debuto uses polite language, but he seems a little dissatisfied. I glanced over and saw Garam snorting. It seems like there's no nasal medicine in this world. Thinking about such things, I walked up the hill. Among the many graves, I saw someone sitting in front of one. Who is it? The man in the black hood turned around. He wears a mask on his face, light armor, and a sword hanging from his waist. The 2 people on either side of me got ready, but I stopped them with my hands. A child. Excuse me, I'll go to the people of our friendly country first. I looked around the room and gave a polite bow. I felt like the tense atmosphere had eased a little. Sorry for the late introduction. I am Sieg from the Kingdom of Colin. I heard that a town in a neighboring country had been attacked by monsters, so I came to see what was going on. Let's keep the fact that we're royalty a secret for now, as we don't want people to look at us strangely. But even so, looking around at the surrounding graves, I let out a sigh. It's terrible, there's so much damage. May he rest in peace. The man looked at me strangely. By the way, what about you? I am a Puka. I lived in the city. I was attacked while I was out and narrowly escaped death. Puka, is that a fake name? Debut muttered from behind me. Puka. It means ghost and is probably a pseudonym. I was sitting in front of your grave. I had a younger sister who I took care of after our parents died early. She was a great little sister. Is that so? He's a useless brother who's never around when it matters most. He laughed self-deprecatingly. As I was about to leave, a man spoke to me. Where are we going now? Towards the town of Bells. Stop it. Was strongly opposed. Why? Monsters may still be rampaging in the city. It's dangerous. It's okay. They're excellent guards. When I say that, Debut and Garam make a displeased face but don't refuse. It seems difficult to say I am going home or I don't want to after being praised. They say there are monsters and it's dangerous, so is there any reason to go? Well, if monsters were rampaging in the place where they lived, the people buried in this grave wouldn't be able to rest in peace, right? This is also some kind of fate. With that said, he turned on his heels. The city of Bells was already terrible. The entrance gate was crushed, and many of the houses beyond the gate appeared to have been destroyed by force. There were also a fair number of smaller monsters. However, I don't think it's dangerous. HMP8, that's right. Debut and Garam shouted out their chants as they defeated the monsters one after the other. While these guys are pretty strong, just as we had finished defeating most of them, it appeared. The ground shakes and the sound of houses collapsing can be heard. A huge shadow suddenly appeared from the depths. Don Bosco, it is a ferocious monster that resembles a giant bear. Its thick skin is impenetrable to ordinary swords. They can only be defeated with magic at close range, but with their sharp claws and agile bodies, they will attack and kill the wizard while he is casting his spell. It is a dangerous monster that is said to kill wizards. It is said that to defeat him, 10 people are needed, 5 swordsmen in the front line and 5 magicians in the rear line. Your Highness, step back. This guy is dangerous. As they say this, the two begin fighting Don Bosco, but naturally the sword was ineffective. They're completely on the defensive. This might be easier than I imagined, I thought as I looked at him with my arms folded behind my back. Dabat Garam, do you think you can win? It's impossible, Your Highness, please run away. HMPH, well, protect you even if it costs us our lives. If worst comes to worst, well, launch a suicide attack. Special attack. Even though they say they don't like amulets like that, at times like this they would still risk their lives to help someone escape. They're a good guys, so I hope they try a little harder. I can't let him die after I escape. I am not running away from here. Picture, honestly, I just need to buy some time. If you guys die, I won't be able to fight and I will definitely die. So you guys do your best and cherish your lives so that I don't die. Get out of there. What do you think will happen if you die? What's going to happen to you? It will be fine. My talented younger brother will just take my place. In fact, it might be better that way. Phew, haha. After a moment of silence, it was Galam who spoke first. He was laughing as he listened to the conversation between me and Debut. Heh, self-deprecation is a good thing. By the way, Prince, you say you can't fight, but are you really unable to use swords or magic? There's no way it could be used. If it were, we'd be fighting together. That's true, heh. Then Det burst out laughing. I thought that the job of the knights was to die, but I can't die like this. There were some pretty nasty threats. I saw Galam's mouth relax. It seemed something struck a chord with them and the atmosphere relaxed. Oh no, Garam, why are we risking our lives on this day off because of some stupid prince's selfishness? But it's not bad. I agree, Your Highness, Debut shouted as he fought. What is it? Those in positions of authority must sometimes sacrifice their soldiers in order to survive on their own. What is that? You don't need to worry about me, just focus, y'all die. Fat, yeah, I won't let you turn back. The two of them are fighting desperately with their mouths twisted. They're seriously fighting. Apuka came running up behind him. I was so nervous that he had finally come, but he tried not to let those emotions show on his face. You came. Yeah, so, why are you fighting Don Bosco? It's not like I'm fighting because I want to. It's all your fault, you damn brat. And what did you come here for, a masked bastard? HMPH, this isn't a spectacle. Debut deflected the approaching arm with his sword, while Garam deflected the attack with his shield. Wow, you're doing great, the Puka whistled as he drew his sword from his belt. It's a long, thin sword with a sharp tip like a rapier. That's fun, let me join in too. Episode 6, V's Don Bosco and the helpers. Don Bosco attacks by moving left and right, but Garam and Debut work together to skillfully fend off the attacks. Okay, you guys are doing great. I'll just watch, but do your best. You're not going to do anything. I can't do anything, call me baggage. The Puka laughed at how honest he was to be so clear. Hey, masked bastard, is there anything I can do? HMPH, masked man, since you're here, do something. The two front guards riled up the Puka. Okay, then just hold on like that. The Puka lay the slender sword to the side and ran his left hand over the middle of it. Blood flows and red patterns spread across the sword. You guys just stop moving while keeping his body spread out for just a moment. HMPH, what an unreasonable request. Complaining, Debut and Garam spread out to either side, forcibly holding down Don Bosco's hands with their swords and shields. Well done, the Puka continued, charging forward with his sword in front of him. The sword won't work. If it's an average sword, Puka's sword pierces Don Bosco's chest. Blood rip explosion moment. Don Bosco's body swells up and various places become bulging. The pain spreads throughout Don Bosco's body and blood starts spilling from his mouth. Immediately afterwards, dark blood spurted out from various places and Don Bosco died with a small cry. What a cruel technique. Don Bosco's corpse still oozes dark blood. I won. I guess I can manage. You were a magician. Didn't I tell you? I've never heard of that before, but well done. You guys too, I couldn't have won alone. Did you know he was there? I thought there might be one. I wouldn't have been able to win if I had encountered one on my own. I was lucky to have a vanguard who could buy me some time. You should be very grateful. The three of them complain but also praise each other. Yeah, it's a nice, refreshing atmosphere. Well, when I looked through the hole in Don Bosco's body, I saw a faint glow. The hole is a little narrow, but I could do it. He rolls up his sleeves and gropes Don Bosco's body. Your Highness, what are you doing? There's blood on your sleeve. Just a little longer. Finally, I got it. Is that a necklace? Because I saw something glowing. That's a lie. I knew it was inside my body from the beginning. It is. The moment the puka saw the necklace, he approached impatiently. From inside Don Bosco. Yes, Don Bosco has a habit of swallowing shiny things. Does this look familiar? Sorry, could you please give that to me? The puka asked with a serious look on his face. I pretended to think for a moment before handing it to the puka. Well, I don't need it. Your attitude has changed quite a bit. Do you recognize that necklace? It was something I sent to my dead sister. A keepsake, huh? Oh, thank goodness. Afterwards, we returned to the hill and watched as the puka buried the necklace in the grave. Oh no, what a day off. I never thought it would turn into a life-threatening battle. You two are strong, as expected of mid-level swordsmen. Oh, we are the elite of the Knight Order. We are mid-level swordsmen who are halfway through the advanced ranks. It'll show you how to get promoted to advanced level in no time. He looks proud. I don't think they'll even be able to teach me swordsmanship. He doesn't seem to like that kind of thing. Now that I think about it, Sieg-sama can't use swordsmanship or magic. Yeah, the teacher who was supposed to teach me was taken away by my talented younger brother. So the rumors were true. Poor thing. Stop it, don't look at me like that. Teacher, the puka who had been sitting in front of the grave slowly stood up and turned to face us as we were talking behind him. Your name is Sieg. I'd be happy to teach you magic and swordsmanship. That is, if you would like to hire me as your vassal. Oh, really? Yeah, the town is gone and there's no one left to protect. My companions went to Duke Rheindal, but he didn't even send any reinforcements when the town was attacked. I've never liked him and I don't think I want to serve the Duchy of Rheindal now. I still owe him the necklace after all. I appreciate that, but is that okay? Now that I think about it, I still haven't taken off my mask. When he removed his mask, he revealed a handsome man with a scruffy beard. Behind me, Debut and Garam let out sounds of surprise, but it's too late now since I already know their true identities. I haven't really introduced myself yet. I am Rupert, formerly the head knight of the Principality of Rheindal. I was demoted by Bells a while ago, but my skills haven't diminished. So please give me a decent paycheck. Rubelt grinned. Episode 7, we've brought a new teacher, Rupert the Jet Black Knight. It was the name of a knight who was famous for his bravery in the Principality of Rheindal. A magic swordsman who is a user of dark magic and is also well versed in the sword. So why do I know about him? Well, he's actually a supporting character in the game. The appearance flag is the destruction of the City of Bells. The condition for becoming a companion is to talk to him when you visit the grave, and then wipe out the monsters in the City of Bells. However, these conditions are quite strict. There is a condition for his disappearance, and if he is not recruited within 1 month of the destruction of the City of Bells, he will be overcome with guilt and commit suicide in front of his sister's grave. Furthermore, the monsters in the town of Bells, although an event that occurs soon after starting, have such high stats that they are virtually impossible to defeat in normal play. Misty, the main character, is supposed to come and fight alone, which is just too much. It's just starting, so defense is essentially impossible. Not only do you have to win a game of luck by dodging attacks, but you can't get the necklace unless there's a hole in your body, so Rupert won't join your party. However, Rupert will always appear if you set the flag, but the time he appears is cruelly random. When I got there 6 hours later, I nearly threw my controller. Is he really a helper? By the way, the reason why Rupert is wearing a mask at first is he wears a mask because he cannot face his beloved sister because he was away hunting monsters and was unable to protect her. This will continue until he buries the necklace he sent to his sister in front of her grave, and if he does not achieve this, he will commit suicide without removing his mask. However, this event is supposed to happen 10 years from now. we've finally arrived. When I tried to get off the carriage, Debut opened the door for me from the outside. Thank you, no, it would be terrible if he got injured at the last moment. Please watch your step. Aren't you both being nice to me? Overprotective, dude. Rupert made fun of them from behind while Garam and Debut glared at him. Now watch your mouth. This man is still the first prince of the kingdom of Colin. That's right. He may look like a brat, but he's a prince. Even the Black Knight won't tolerate your rudeness. Do you guys really think I'm a prince? The words are laced with poison. The first prince is quite an important person. Let's start with honorific language. In response to their warning, Rubelt signaled with his hand that he was sorry. After getting off, I stretched my body. It was the same air in the royal palace as it had been since morning, but it felt pleasant, unlike Belz's stench of death. Peace is best after all. Well then, Coachman Garam, Debut, you saved me today. Thank you. Sorry for coming on your day off. I don't mind. If anything else happens, it'll be there for you, so just let me know. The two bowed politely and then walked away. They may have bad mouths, but they're a good people. At first, I was a lot more complaining. I'd be happy if my reputation has improved a little. Then let's go, I'll show you around. Yes, and there's no need to use honorific language with me. I'm your vassal now, that's true. Okay then, Rupert, follow me. As I was walking down the luxurious corridors of the palace, Sebastian came up to me. Sieg Sama, please go home. Oh, I am home. Sebastian bowed respectfully and then looked at Rupert standing next to him. What about you? That's right, from now on he will be my swordsmanship and magic teacher. I am Rupert, nice to meet you. Rupert of the Principality of Rheindal. Is that so? Sebastian looked shocked for a moment, but then his expression quickly returned to normal. Please leave his food, clothing, and shelter to me. Yeah, leave it to me. Since then, lessons in sword and magic have begun with Rupert as my teacher. For the time being, they practiced swordsmanship in the morning and magic in the afternoon, but Rubelt's lessons were unique. I would like to explain that. First, the swordsmanship section. Regarding swordsmanship, Rubelt taught him the basic forms while also having him do strength training. The goal was to be able to swing the sword with one hand. It is normal to hold a sword with both hands and hold it at mid-level. So although I thought it was unusual, I did some strength training anyway. Since I was only 8 years old, I thought that strength training wouldn't make much of a difference. But contrary to that, my muscle strength increased dramatically with each passing day. Is this also a character correction in the game? While thinking this, I suddenly realized that I was able to swing the sword with one hand. What I was taught was how to handle the opponent's sword with my left hand free and sword techniques that focused on thrusting. When I asked why, I was told that it would be useful in actual combat. In my previous life in Japanese kendo, thrusts were extremely dangerous and were even banned in junior high school. It is true that if it is avoided, the body will be left open and vulnerable, but there is also the fact that it is only effective on the throat, and there is even a mysterious rule that says that even though it is effective, it is rude to use it on someone of higher rank. However, this is not Japan, but the Kingdom of Karen. Thrusting doesn't have to be limited to the throat. It can be anywhere on the body, and when it comes to an actual fight, it's not a situation where you can afford to think lightly about not hitting because it's rude or dangerous. With that in mind, Rubelt's sword training, which focuses on thrusting, can be said to be suited to actual combat. Also, this is for fighting with one hand. Why fight with one hand in the first place? I'll explain that when we talk about magic. Magic Edition, Rubelt teaches dark magic. When I think of dark magic, I think of curses and sorcery, but it seems I am half right. By actually dripping your own blood, which contains dark attributes, onto the sword, you can strengthen the magical power that is bestowed on the weapon. Apparently that was what he unleashed on Don Bosco. Anyway, dark magic. This is extremely troublesome for the swordsman. Basically, you release it with one hand, leaving your left hand free. You can slow down your opponent, throw them off balance, apply debuffs that restrict their movement, or even unleash the full force of dark magical power to pierce their body. For example, body sleeve pull. This causes a black hand to appear near the opponent and forcefully pull them towards you. The person being pulled will definitely lose their balance, and if it happens at close range, it's just not worth it. Next up is Devil's Claps. This technique involves lightly tapping your right hand with your left hand, creating a shock wave near your opponent, sending them flying. This is also quite strong. Additionally, by releasing the magical power from his body and bringing it to the front while died in darkness, he was able to create a curtain of darkness that could shut out magical attacks. However, there are many other dark magic spells, but unlike fire or water magic, dark magic may be inferior in terms of power. For example, it is difficult to deal damage to large enemies using fire or water. However, due to its rapid fire and versatility, it is highly compatible with swords, and when combined they become very powerful. By the way, it seems that dark magic can only be used if the person has the right qualities, but it seems that I have a very high level of dark qualities. In the game, I couldn't see Sieg's status because I left the stage without being able to see it, but it seems that Sieg was a talented person who could become a user of dark magic. Anyway, since then I've been devoting myself to studying swordsmanship and magic, bringing books with me at night. Episode 8, Soldier DS Day Off. I am currently a member of the Royal Capital Knights. Usually after training, expeditions, and patrols, he would eat, drink, and sleep during his off-duty. I don't want a boyfriend either, so this is fine. I always wondered if such an ordinary everyday life was really okay. When I asked my colleague and friend Gallum, he told me I was stupid and shouldn't have thought about such things. Garam has a habit of sniffing and doesn't have a very good mouth, but we've been friends for a long time and I'm just as bad-mouthed, so it's fine. And you're just as stupid as me, so it would be easier to count you from the bottom of the knights, but I don't bother to point that out. Anyway, it's something to do when you're off duty. Training was over for the day and tomorrow was my day off. I was thinking of just lazing around and having a drink. A messenger came from the royal palace to the knights, and Garam and I were summoned to the knight commander's room. Apparently Prince Sieg is heading to the Principality of Rheindal tomorrow and they want me to be his escort. I exchanged looks with Garam. Although Garam and I may not be the smartest among the knights, we pride ourselves on being among the best swordsmen. It's well put together and I have no complaints about that. I've been to the Principality of Rheindal several times for training, so I know where it is, so it's fine. The problem is Prince Sieg. There are currently 4 members of the royal family who have a claim to the throne. Prince Sieg is the prince closest to the throne, but he is bad at studying and social skills such as dancing, and he is completely unable to use either the sword or magic. He has a reputation as a useless prince who is inferior to his younger brother, Prince Tigos, in every way. You want me to protect the stupid prince, Garam stated clearly. He said it before I could say it. That's right, they want us to send the elite knights. Elite, I can't refuse when asked that. Glancing next to me, I saw that Gallum also looked pleased. I have prepared a driver separately, so I'll leave the guard duties to you tomorrow. Yes, it's a hassle, but do you think of this as work? They put the prince in the carriage and drove to the Duchy of Rheindor. I've come this far and it seems like a pain. Along the way I started to curse at Garam and he seemed to be thinking the same thing and agreed with me. I guess I should have just refused and gone out drinking with the knights. Next time, even if I get a request, I won't do it again. That's what I was thinking. When he arrived in the Principality of Rheindal, he said he wanted to go to the hill instead of the city of Bells. What's the point of going to a place like that? Thinking this, I arrived and saw many graves on the hill. The dead of Bells town. With so much damage, even though the knights were absent, did Duke Lindor not send any aid to his own city? While I was thinking about this, Prince Sieg passed through the tombs. Then I saw someone sitting in front of the tomb. He's wearing a black hood and a mask so his face is not visible, but he's lightly armed. Is he a member of this knight order? No, his face is hidden. It may even have been torn off. If it's grave robbery, immediately after his gaze met Gallum's, he tried to step in front of Prince Sieg, but the prince stopped him. Who is it? As you asked earlier, I want to say those words to you, the one wearing the suspicious mask. From what I've heard, he seems to be from the town of Bells. At first he was openly hostile, but the prince's polite condolences seemed to take the edge off. Yes, I agree that the poison was taken away. I had heard that he had no education whatsoever, so I guess he has a surprising side to him. Then we headed to the town of Bells. Small monsters were swarming about, but they were no match for us. Together with Garam, they defeat him in no time. But it appeared, it's Don Bosco. It's a dangerous monster and swords don't work very well on it. Within the knights who cannot use magic, they are ranked highly as monsters to be avoided. I fight for now, but somehow I don't lose. But I don't feel like I can win either. The sword barely penetrates it. As I parried Don Bosco's attack, I glanced to the side and made eye contact with Garam. We'll probably run out of stamina and die soon. However, the prince behind him cannot be allowed to die. It's the pride of a soldier entrusted with the task of guarding. I told the prince, please run away. I would be happy to die protecting the prince. However, the prince said he would not run away and furthermore gave us strict orders not to die, saying that if we died, he would die too. He was threatening me with his own life. I joined the knights and have done a variety of jobs. When I was guarding a certain nobleman, he came face to face with a strong monster and the nobleman ran away, telling me to hold him back. When I was guarding a wealthy merchant and when I was guarding a national dignitary, they care about their own lives. After all, we are the royal capital knights, which are mainly made up of commoners. Unlike the other knight order, which is centered around aristocrats, their value is like a piece of paper. That's why they say that the lives of soldiers don't matter and that there are replacements, so they should just throw them away. Yet this master says that there is someone who can replace him, mentioning the name of his talented younger brother. And yet he told us not to die. He tells his low-ranking soldiers not to die and to value their lives, yet says that it's okay to die at worst because there are others to replace him. Which is not something a high-ranking person, especially one who is closest to becoming the next king, should say. I laughed along with Garam, who was defending next to me. I am sure Garam was thinking the same thing as me. I can't let this damn brat die like this. Even if she felt she had no chance of winning, she would do everything in her power to keep the prince alive. As I fought desperately, a masked man appeared. By working together, they managed to defeat Don Bosco. The power of the magic that defeated Don Bosco made it seem like he was no ordinary magician, but it turns out that he is none other than Rupert, the most famous Black Knight in the Principality of Rheindal, and the prince ends up hiring him as his teacher. That's nice. If I were stronger, if the knights had more days off, I would have liked to teach the prince. Well, I go there to play every time I have a day off. Now then, what should I do on my day off today? Looking out the window, I see a vast blue sky. Drinking alcohol in the middle of the day on a day like this. Hey, are you there? There was a knock on the door and Garam came in. What up? As usual, you seem bored even though it's your day off. You too, so is there something you need? I'm heading to the royal palace now. Do you want to come too? The royal palace. I see. Well, I guess I'll join in. I hope I've gotten a little stronger. I wonder. It was moving a lot better before. It's because the teacher is good. He seems to have some talent, but he still has a long way to go. And /A, what is it? No, despite what you say, I think you like it too. Then let's go. This guy's not being honest either. I thought to myself as I headed towards the royal palace. Episode 9, sword in the right hand, magic in the left. It was a calm, sunny, and pleasant morning. When I got up as usual and headed to the dining room, my parents were already sitting there and my younger brother Tigos was looking at me with a dumbfounded expression. My parents, or rather my father, no, His Majesty, are busy, so we only have breakfast together about once every 3 days, but so far there's an almost 100% chance that I end up oversleeping. It's not my fault, it's this fluffy futon's fault, you know. When I heard the story of Sieg before his personality became mine, I wondered why he overslept, but I can't get mad at him now. After finishing breakfast and drinking tea, Sebastian walked quietly towards His Majesty. Is there a problem? Looking out the corner of my eye, I saw Tigos smiling. Brother, what are you doing today? Today is the same as usual. He'll be studying swordsmanship and magic with the teacher this morning and this afternoon. He'll probably study in the library in the evening. I think they brought in a new teacher, sorry. I stole the teacher from them. He apologizes, but there's a smile on his face. Do you really think it's bad? He also makes sarcastic remarks at every opportunity, but I don't feel he means any harm. Maybe my younger brother is a natural bastard. It's fine, I have a new teacher. What kind of teacher is he? I asked Sebas, but he wouldn't tell me, but I've only caught a glimpse of his face. I didn't tell Tigos about the teacher, the jet black knight. I have no intention of boasting about it, and I don't want to be snatched away from him again. In the meantime, what are you going to do today? I don't have any plans. Wow, that's rare. I thought this guy had most of his schedule booked up. Once in a while, listen, my teacher praised me. He said my sword skills are good and that my magic is improving smoothly. Tigos is also a good dancer. Laura, who had been listening to our conversation, laughed cheerfully while putting her hand to her cheek. It seems Tigos is better than me after all, because I can't even dance a single song. I don't have a teacher to teach me and I don't have the time. If I have some free time from now on, I'll ask Sebas to look for it. I'll find a dance teacher pretty quickly. As I was thinking about this, I heard a knock. Excuse me. Excuse me. When the door opened, Marquis Red Claudia was standing there with Misty Claudia behind him. Hey, why Misty? As I blinked, my father Haruto slowly stood up. Oh, this is Marquis Claudia. Welcome. Haha, my daughter said she wanted to see the royal palace, so who will be showing her around today? Duke Red glances back and forth between me and Tigos. This is the perfect opportunity to escort Misty. Didn't work last time, so this time it will work. What should I do? Haruto looked at us as well, and then his eyes met Tigos. I heard earlier that you have swordsmanship and magic practice with Sensei today as well, so I'll be the one to show you around, right, brother? That's true, but I told you. Could it be that this guy knew Misty was coming here today? I am sorry, Nick-san, I only heard about it from Sensei yesterday. Tigos muttered softly. Shit, is that the teacher I missed? Still, this guy really does like Misty. She's my potential fiancé. In that case, let's ask Prince Tigos. Is that okay with you, Misty? Yes, father, Misty bowed quietly. Damn, it didn't work again. Maybe it's not meant to be with me. Wait a second. When I looked at Misty, I thought our eyes met for a moment, but she quickly looked away. Were you looking at me just now? For a moment I thought positively, but then I quickly shook my head. No, wait, that can't be true because I haven't done anything particularly beneficial. So maybe Misty simply didn't like being with me. I'm sorry I'm not better than my younger brother. Sieg-sama, after Tigos escorted Misty away, Sebas came over to me. What? Sieg-sama has a guest coming. Guest? I have no idea what kind of guests will be visiting me. Just to be clear, who is it? Debut and Gar? Not again. Don't they come here every time they have a day off? I've guided you to the second garden of the royal palace, so please feel free to go. Understood. On the way, I glanced at Tigos in the hallway, his face bright red as he spoke to Misty, and reluctantly headed to the garden. You've finally arrived. HMPH, I came too. That's right, His Highness is loved. Mother, the two of them were already sweating and waiting in the heat. The difference in visitors between Tigos is huge. We decided to practice the basic forms for a while before starting mock training. Well then, Prince, shall we have a contest? The opponent is Galim. Each player wields a wooden sword, and the one who scores a blow using magic wins. That's the rule. The judge will be Rupert. Garim and I each got into position. Garim holds the wooden sword in both hands and is positioned at mid-level, what is known as the orthodox style. In response, I wait with my right hand holding the wooden sword in front of me and my left hand hidden behind my back. Let's begin. Yay! Immediately after the call was made, Garim came into type. Garim is the type who uses his height to push forward with all his might, and like the powerful fat guy watching from behind, he doesn't use many tricks. I calmly parry and deflect the attacks that Galim thrusts at me with my sword. To begin with, there is a difference in strength between using one hand and both hands, so it would seem impossible to play, but my body is surprisingly good at building muscle, so I've gained a lot of strength recently. Because of this, a while ago when I tried to deflect it, my sword would be easily deflected instead, but now I can deflect it just fine with my one-handed sword. However, if I let my guard down, I'll be defeated in an instant, and I won't be able to attack in the first place. Even if you stab him carelessly, Galim will easily block it. Although he doesn't use tricks, he is extremely good at basic tricks. He seems to be an intermediate swordsman. However, Galim, well, like Debuto, these guys gradually start to show their muscle-brain side as the battle drags on. Although they are wary at first, they gradually start to focus on the sword and let their guard down against magic. That's why I set it up. Just as Galim is about to strike next, I pull back my left hand, which is filled with magical power. Mukuro's sleeve pull nothing. Galim's right arm shifts to the right. One of my arms was pulled sharply to the side. He quickly removes his right hand from the sword, but it is too late. I try to poke him in the chest, but Garim sees this and immediately takes a step back. He dodged it, but I hit the wrist of his right hand with my left. Bread, it activates with a dry sound. The Devil's Clown. Wow. A shockwave suddenly appeared behind Galim, forcing him forward. Aiming at that spot, I swung my sword down. Without any resistance, Garim was thrown forward, and without even being able to take a defensive stance, he put his hands on the ground, and the wooden sword easily hit his exposed forehead. Episode 10, No Fires Allowed in the Garden. The game is over. Rubelt raised his hand. HMPH. How dare you try something as clever as magic? Know your shame. Sour grapes feel good. No, I can't win if it's pure swordsmanship. I mean, I always tell you guys to be wary of magic, Rupert said in amazement, but Galim just grumbled. Even so, Sieg-sama is skilled at using magic. True. Yes, mixing dark magic with sword magic requires a surprise attack, but the timing is excellent. I'm sure it works. No, Galim is just simple-minded. GRRR, Fatso, take my place. Hey, Rupert and I were both surprised when we heard Garim's voice and looked towards Debut. Hee, with this it's even without magic. Debut is sweating and holding a large, thick wooden sword. It is a blazing sword burning brightly. Yeah, Why you, Prince? I set fire to an oiled wooden sword. This should work, huh? Nuwu. The wooden sword was burning more and more, turning black and even more so. Deto's clothes caught fire. Fire, fire, a fat man rolling around. It is currently rolling around on the stone pavement that makes up the walkway, and sparks are flickering across the walkway and flying towards the flowers in the garden, which are in danger of catching fire at any moment. What are you doing? Is there water nearby? There's no water here. Sieg-sama, what should we do? What should I do? That's right. Rupert, hurry and dig a big hole in the soil of the garden. Garam, well, put debut in there and cover it with soil. I don't mind if it messes up the garden a little. Ha, understood. Rupert used his magically enchanted sword to open a large hole in one go, and Garam and I kicked debut into the hole and immediately covered it in dirt. Debuto was in agony in the dirt with his face bright red, but after a while his voice became quiet. Det slowly emerges from the soil. My clothes were torn to shreds and smelled burnt. Thank you for your help. Isn't it going to turn into charcoal somewhere? I checked again, and it turned out that the armor was scorched and some of the inner lining was burned. Even in the Principality of Rheindal, no one would use fire in a garden. HMPH, I'm glad you were safe, but are you an idiot? Debuto is feeling down after being scolded by the two of them. Well, I'm glad you weren't hurt. But what about this? Parts of the garden are covered in soil, and there is dirt scattered on the cobblestones, so I thought it would be no laughing matter if I burned down the garden, so I quickly decided to bury it in the ground, but I'm sure I'll get in trouble for that too. What should I do? If I apologize, will they forgive me? Even so, it was impressive how quickly you hid it in the ground. I didn't know that the fire could be put out even in the ground. It's a first aid measure when there's no water, but if there's no oxygen, the fire won't spread any further. Wow, you're very knowledgeable. Isn't this common sense? I thought, but perhaps that is only in Japan and such theories haven't been clarified here. I don't know either, that's just like your highness. Garam and Det look at Rubelt, but it seems Rubelt doesn't know either. Come to think of it, there really weren't any books that talked about that sort of thing. As I was thinking about this, I suddenly felt someone looking at me from the side. Someone was looking at me, a girl with brown hair and a boy with brown hair. There were several soldiers standing around as escorts. They both look alike, maybe they're a brother and sister, but he was staring at me with a stern expression. I tilted my head, wondering what it was, and he turned his face away in a sulky mood and walked away. Sieg-sama, what happened? Oh, I saw it earlier. That's Lady Dreama and Lord Elliot. That's an unfamiliar name. Are you a nobleman from somewhere? When I asked again, both Garam and Debut looked surprised. What, are they that famous? Yes, they are Sieg-sama's cousins. Picture, although they are third and fourth in line to the throne, I think they are older than Sieg-sama. Is there someone like that for me? Is it possible that you don't know? Rubelt was standing next to me dumbfounded. Doriyama-sama is 2 years older than Sieg-sama, and Elliot-sama is 1 year older than Sieg-sama. That's what Sebastian told me when I went to his place that night. Their father is the child of my father, Hart Collins' younger brother. Hart's younger brother was Lucas, who was talented but sickly, so he handed over the throne to Hart. He later married the daughter of a duke, had 2 children, and died of illness. Their children are Dreama and Elliot. If that were the case, they would just be cousins, but the story doesn't end there. Their mother, Hilma Collin, is the daughter of a duke. Apparently they were related, though quite distantly. In other words, both parents have royal blood. They are the children of the king's younger brother. Their right to the throne is lower than that of Lord Sieg and Lord Tigos, but that's not all. What do you mean? Sebastian hesitated for a moment before explaining the more complicated story. Both Tigos and my mother Laura are daughters of counts. Although she is the queen in terms of lineage, it can be said that Doriyama and Elliot are far more legitimate heirs to the throne. I hear that Queen Hiruma and her companions are particularly convinced that they are worthy of the throne. That's right, that means Tigos and I are a thorn in their side. No wonder children are also subjected to such hostile looks. We met once a few years ago, do you remember? I don't think so, I don't have any memories of it. I answered immediately, and Sebastian shook his head, saying, oh dear. But then he looked at me with a serious expression. Sieg-sama, please be careful. There are many bloodline supremacists among the nobles, and some are siding with the other side. I see so many bloodline supremacists want Dreama and Elliot to become king, so I am in their way. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Sebastian smiled as he saw me listening to him obediently. Sieg-sama has suddenly become very reliable. Is there something wrong? Picture, I think it's just that I was just not good enough before, but honestly I can't explain it. Well, I don't know. Just one more thing, please be careful of the knights. Knights, why, I think I can trust both Garum and Debut. In fact, it was Sebastian who made them his bodyguards in the first place. That's what Sebastian thought, but he shook his head. They are the Royal Capital Knights. I am referring to the Royal Palace Knights. Royal Knights, are there two orders of knights? By the way, what's the difference between the two? The Royal Capital Knights are mainly responsible for various security duties in the Royal Capital and are mostly made up of commoners. In contrast, the Royal Palace Knights are mainly responsible for guarding the Royal Palace, and only members of noble families or higher belong to them. They place importance on lineage, so. In other words, the Royal Knights are on the other side of my faction. Even so, there are a lot of characters who didn't appear in the game, and they're all my enemies. Perhaps Prince Sieg in the game was forced to grow by being trained in this way. If we think positively, this is a period of growth. Sieg, no, haha, it's okay, I'll remember. Wow, let's do our best. By the way, Sebas, yes, when I told him about the second garden, he slumped in disappointment. I understand, I'll arrange it right away. I am sorry. No, this is also part of the job, but Prince Sieg is Prince Sieg. Sebastian's deep sigh resonates in my mind. Sorry for the slightly revised look. Episode 11, I don't think forcing someone is a good idea. What the heck is this? It happened the day after I made the hole in the garden. After finishing breakfast, I headed to the second garden as usual and found several strangers busily working in the garden. When they see me, they each bow before getting to work. Looking to the side, I saw Rupert staring blankly at the guys working. Sieg Sama, good morning. Oh, good morning. By the way, what is this? Ah, it seems they're doing some maintenance on Sebastian's orders. It must be because of what happened yesterday. That was definitely the incident where someone rolled a wooden sword and caused a fire. Why would I do something so stupid? Still, I can't train like this. Wasn't there a first garden and a third garden? The first garden is for ceremonies, so it's no good. The third garden is no good either because my younger brother is probably using it. I don't want Tigo's or Tigo's teacher to see me. What do you want to do? I thought for a moment and then looked at Rupert. Come to think of it, I am always with him, but he never takes any time off. Rupert, when was the last time you had a rest? I haven't thought about it, I am sure. I haven't had a rest since I got here. Well, I guess that's my job. It's a black company. Before I knew it, I'd brought this guy to a black company. Rupert, rest. Picture, today is a holiday. Although it's not Labor Thanksgiving Day, let's make today a holiday to give Rupert a break. That's fine, but what about Sieg Sama? One-arm push-ups. I learned yesterday that I need to work on my basic strength. You need to build up enough muscle strength to be able to fight with one hand. Build more muscle. Yes, muscle never betrays you. I see, that's true. It won't take up much space, so I think that's fine. I'm off to town then. Oh, take your time to rest your wings. After seeing off Rupert, I devoted myself to strength training. Oh dear, and now I'm taking a walk. What about strength training? I got complaints. I was doing one-arm push-ups in the corner of the garden, but the maintenance workers were bothering me and asked me to go somewhere else. Even if you tell me to go somewhere else, I don't have anywhere to go. I had no choice but to wander around, but then I heard the sound of someone arguing. We headed towards the main gate of the royal palace. Please stop, the young lady doesn't like it. You don't want to, you get to eat with me. How can you not want to? It looks like someone is arguing. The guards at the gate look on anxiously. Normally, the guards would step in to mediate in situations like this, but something seems strange. As I walked slowly closer, I could see the faces of the people fighting. The man is Elliot. He was saying something arrogantly while being accompanied by his guards. The opponent is, let go. I approached at a trot. Elliot, let go of that hand. I grabbed Elliot's hand. You, ouch, ouch, ouch. Elliot hastily shook off her hand. Sieg Sama. I quickly hid Misty Claudia, who Elliot was tangled up in, behind my back. Okay, yes, it's fine. He hid behind my back and looked a little scared. What happened? Prince Elliot tried to forcefully take the unwilling young lady away. Don't say such rude things. I just asked you to join me for a meal. The maid looks at me and pleads. I glanced at Misty hiding behind me. If I had to choose between believing Misty and Elliot. Yeah, it's probably Elliot's fault for messing around. As I watched with half-closed eyes, Elliot glared at me instead. What's with that look in your eyes? Are you complaining about me? I don't think it's good to force someone to do something they don't want to do. Who are you talking to? I'm more important than you, even though you're just a half-breed. And I know you. Elliot gave a derisive grin. I've heard your foolish tales often, that you're a failure unlike your brother. You're of tainted blood and inferior talent, and yet you have the nerve to tell me what to do. It's not my fault, it's just that my younger brother is talented. Perhaps. He pointed his index finger at me, so I picked it up. Ouch, what are you doing? No, I was just picking on it lightly, but I don't think it's good to point fingers at people so much. Shut up, just give me that thing behind you. As Elliot said this, Misty grabbed onto my clothes from behind. You can't just hand it over like this. Stop it, she doesn't like it. You know, I am the one giving the orders. I am the older one. He's only older than me, we're about the same height. And bloodlines too, hey, ha. The knights who had been waiting behind Elliot came forward. Perhaps this is the royal knights. The knight sighs and looks down at me. Prince Sieg, this is Lord Elliot's order. Do not let him do anything rough. Elliot was the one who tried to do something rough to her. Sieg Sam, as I bent my body down to protect Misty and put my hand on the wooden sword at my waist, two familiar figures came running towards me and stand in front of me. Hey, you guys, get away. Who do you think this person is? Debut and Garam stood up to protect him. A commoner knight. Commoners, you people from the royal palace. Det and Garam narrowed their eyes at the same time. 6 against 2, that's a good handicap. HMPH, you can't defeat us with the nobles' Plato swordsmanship. What? The commoners licked lips. The knights were getting enraged by the two's provocation, but Elliot slapped them back. Wait, don't be in such a hurry. Hey, you guys. Who do you think I am? The two looked at each other at Elliot's words. Prince Elliot, right? Oh, I'm aware of that. Elliot grins. That's right, so you two, that fake prince over there and me. Whose side are you going to side with? They both snorted at the same time. That's obviously not our thing. HMPH, it can't be anything other than this piece of junk. What? Elliot blushed with anger. I am glad that Debut and Garam joined our side without any delay. But couldn't you have said it a better way? Something interesting is happening. What voice? When I looked, Rupert was standing there. But why do you have a woman by your side? Sieg Sama, are you fighting? If so, let me join in too. Who is it? While Elliot had a suspicious look on his face, one of the royal knights looked flustered as if he knew her face. So, your highness, that is the jet black knight who is said to be the strongest in the principality of Rheindal. His name is Rupert. What, that jet black knight? Well, it's an honor to be known. Rupert moved the lady next to Misty's maid and then stood next to me. However, I am no longer a knight of Rheindal. I am Sieg Sama's knight, so I cannot stand by if someone harms my master. As Rupert grinned, a woman behind him let out a voice. Oh, this guy is cool. This will make even the lady sound like a female. Elliot, HMPH, that dampens the excitement. Let's go. Elliot, realizing he couldn't win, passed by and entered the royal palace. And finally, a look back. Remember that. With that, he ran away. Elliot, that's the parting shot of a loser. Well, that's it for me. With that, Rupert took the woman and returned to town. Apparently, when the lady called out to him, he told her that he lived in the royal palace, and the conversation ended up leading him all the way to the palace's main gate. In other words, the fact that people are talking to him means that Rupert is popular after all. Well, he does look like he'd be popular with the ladies. So why are you two here? I was bored. You only came yesterday. I was free yesterday and today. Good timing, right? Well, yeah, people said it was no good and that it was junk. I am not complaining because it's true. When I turned around, Misty was bowing respectfully. Sieg Sama, thank you for helping me earlier. Oh, no number, I am glad nothing happened. Suddenly, he took Misty's hand. The wrist that was being held was bright red. That bastard. Should I have just hit him once? What are you doing to Misty's white skin? Sieg Sama. Oh, sorry, I ended up holding his hand too tightly. I looked over and saw Misty blushing. Wow, Misty is cute even when she's embarrassed. But why was Misty here? After thinking for a bit, I realized the reason and hung my head. Excuse me, you have plans, don't you? Picture, please, I'm sure you came to see Tigos. I am sorry for stopping you. Please go ahead and ignore me. That's right, if it was just yesterday, it's definitely something other than that. Yes, Misty entered the palace with her maid. So, your highness, Det and Garam look at me with sympathy. It seemed like neither of them had any words, and unusually neither of them said anything next. Stop it, it makes me sad. No, I don't care, not at all, not even a little bit. Oops, I have to look up or sweat will come out of my eyes. Well then. I'm going to find a place and do some strength training. Do you two want to join us? We will do our best to assist you. After that, when we were doing strength training near the main gate, we were forcibly stopped by Sebastian, who had come on His Majesty's orders. Apparently holding it at the main gate would have looked extremely unsightly. Dinner that day was as sumptuous as ever, consisting of bread, grilled chicken with herbs, fresh vegetables, seasonal desserts, and more. I thought Japan was a gourmet country, but the food here is pretty good too. In this regard, should we praise the game's production team for providing such a solid cooking setting. After enjoying the food, I was drinking tea when my eyes suddenly met with Tigos. Hey Tigos, how was your day? What? He pretends not to know, but his brother knows. You had plans with Misty, right? What, Misty and I? No, we haven't. Huh, brother, did Misty-sama come by any chance? He leaned forward and listened. This is a feeling I really don't know. No, I just thought it would be nice if you came, that's all. What is this? He pulled away looking disappointed. Oh, didn't you come to see Tigos? So why was Misty here? By the way, brother, please don't do anything strange in the garden. It's unheard of for royalty to burn down a garden. Yeah, sorry, I'll be careful. Tigos had warned me. By any chance, were you watching yesterday? Episode 12 Dance Lesson. A guest from the Kingdom of Saren will be coming next month. After breakfast, father spoke with a solemn air. Kingdom of Saren. Although it is not a neighboring country, the Kingdom of Colin is a friendly country that trades various goods with it, and is a large power that has expanded its territory to the south. They are currently in an equal alliance with the Kingdom of Karin. However, even though Saren told me that a guest would be coming, is there a problem? I asked because I didn't know. Father frowns. We're going to have a welcome party. We're going to make it a big one. Yes, I think that's good. They know about you guys and said they'd like to meet you sometime. That would be an honor. Yeah, what's wrong with that? As I tilted my head, Tigos called out to me in a low voice, brother, do you understand the point of having a big welcome party? Oh, it's going to be a big one, right? It will be flashy. I'm sure the food served on the table will be some pretty rare delicacies. I am already drooling. As the images of delicious dishes spread through his mind, Tigos' stomach started growling even though he had just eaten a meal a moment ago, and he sighed in exasperation. You really don't understand, bro. They know about us and even want to say hello at this big party. Yeah, no, it can't be. Is that it? When I look at father, he averts his eyes and mother laughs and drinks her tea. Of course he wouldn't look me in the eye. Oh no, I still can't dance. Of course, dancing is a must at any big party, and especially when there's a prince, there's usually a dance before the greeting. But I can't dance. This is a big crisis. Even my father would be embarrassed. This is bad, this is bad. When I headed to the second garden, Rupert was waiting for me. A large hole was created in the garden, but Sebastian's quick response quickly restored it to its original state. Good morning, Sieg-sam, but you look gloomy. Do you understand? Well, is there something? I immediately told Rupert what had happened. I see you look so serious, so I thought it was something serious, but it's not a big deal at all. No, I can't dance. I'll embarrass my father. He urges him to think seriously about it, but Rupert doesn't seem to care. Well, it's next month, right? You should learn the dance. I don't know how to remember things at all. It's impossible without a teacher. I can teach you. That's so easy. Can you do it? Rupert said nonchalantly, well, I originally come from a noble family. I was good at dancing. Yes, you're out of sync. Focus on my hand as I hit you step. Since then I have started practicing dance with Rupert as my dance teacher. It's been a week and it's not going well. Sieg-sama, your legs are crossed. Have you forgotten the footwork I taught you yesterday? I remember, but I'm afraid I'll forget. I don't remember that, let it sink in. As I stepped in response to the sound of knocking, I heard the sound of armor. Oh, Sieg-sama is doing something. It doesn't look like a sword or magic. Two idle people came. You guys always come here, don't you have anything else to do? I just came here to make fun of Sieg-sama. This is perfect for killing time. The two replied, indignant at Rupert's mocking words. Is that just a way to kill time? So what is Sieg-sama doing? When I mentioned next month, the two nodded and sat next to each other. It's true that I've never seen Sieg-sama dance before. Shall I see your dance, Sieg-sama? What position do you guys stand in? I left it alone and resumed my dance practice. Hey Gallum, it seems like Lord Sieg isn't very good. It goes without saying, the first step was slow. Sometimes it's fast. It's no good being fast when you don't need to be. The outsiders are so noisy. So you guys can dance. The two of them stood up in a hurry after hearing my words. Oh dear, we're serious about this. Shall I show you? The two of them state confidently. Is this really good? They both make me sit down, then I'll clap my hands just like Sieg-sama, so move along with it. The two of them start moving as Rupert begins clapping. I was horrified when I saw it. You guys, both of them were really good. It's good, but why Cossack dance? Episode 13, an engagement proposal. Phew, speaking of the knight's dance, phew, this is it. It's a dance that has been passed down in the north. Match it to the rhythm, stretch your legs. Rubelt glanced at me with a laugh, wondering what I was going to do, so I had no choice but to stop. How's it going? How about it? Shall I tell you? They asked me with sparkling eyes, out of breath, but I gave them a firm number. That's no good at all. It's not helpful. WHY, you're good at it, right? What's wrong? What's wrong with that? First of all, the song is different, and most importantly, that dance can't be used at a party. What? You look like you've been confronted with a shocking truth, but of course it is. Imagine me stepping forward with great enthusiasm and starting the Cossack dance while father and the people of Saran look on. It's such an outrageous act that it leaves everyone speechless. Ahahaha. Rupert was laughing so hard he was holding his stomach. Well, if Lord Sieg were to dance like that at his welcoming party, it would attract some attention. In a way, in a way, I can't let my bad reputation get any worse. I mean, can't you dance like me? That's a bit, right, HMPH, that's impossible. Don't say it so confidently. Well, dancing takes practice, so let's take our time and solidify the basics. Another week had passed since that happened. Sieg Sama, it's no good after all. Rubelt made it clear. Well, that's true. I feel like I'm no good. I have a good sense of style with the sword, so I wonder why it still feels a bit awkward. I wonder why. Maybe it's because I can't imagine it. Is it an image? I've never danced in Japan either. I went to a ballroom once before, but I didn't see much dancing. Isn't there something like illusion in dark magic? I might as well just give everyone an illusion. Is it a genjutsu? Well, I guess it is. Rubelt glances at me. You probably won't be able to learn it, and besides, it won't be beneficial for Sieg Sama, right? I agree, we dance at every party, so it's probably better to simply be able to dance than to use magic every time. Is there anyone of similar height who might be willing to help? T goes, I doubt that will happen. What should I do? Is there anyone there? Excuse me. I was thinking about this when Sebastian came over. Sebas, what's wrong? I heard that Sieg Sama's dance practice isn't going well. That's not good. Did you find the teacher? But if you're the teacher, we have Rupert. No, he's not a teacher. I've brought along someone who doesn't mind helping you practice. Here you go. Sebastian was fright. A beautiful girl with pale golden hair and blue eyes walked slowly towards me. Thank you, with a question mark floating in her head, the girl. Misty Claudia bowed while picking up her skirt. Why, Sebas, wait a moment. He grabbed Sebastian. Hey, how did you get here? How much should I pay? Isn't he too talented? That's what he thought, but Sebas shook his head. No, I didn't arrange it. Misty Sama volunteered to come and help Sieg Sama. Why, I don't know, but it was good, wasn't it? I think he would be a great training partner. That's true, but take a quick look. Rupert Sama, thank you for the other day. No, I just happened to be there. It's all down to the Lord. The two of them are talking cheerfully. Come to think of it, I helped her out when she was getting into trouble a while ago. So I guess he came as a thank you. He's so loyal. Come on, Sieg Sama. You've kindly offered to join us in practice. We shouldn't waste your time. Well, that's certainly true. Well then, Misty Sama, please. However, I'm really bad at it, so I'm afraid I might disappoint you. No one can do it well from the beginning. Let's do our best. Wow, what a good kid. What was so wrong with Prince Sieg in the game? Then Misty and I started practicing the dance. I thought it would only be one day, but Misty came every day. Sometimes he trips and falls, which gets him scolded by Rupert, but Misty encourages him to do his best. Thanks to that, I improved rapidly. There's 1 week left until the party. I'm having a great time talking with Misty, and if things continue like this, I am sure everything will go well. That's what I thought. One day at breakfast, Father, who had been busy with government affairs in preparation for the acceptance of Saran, appeared in the morning for the first time in a long while and spoke in a grave tone. I have approached the Marquis Claudia family about an engagement. Mother put her hand to her mouth in surprise, and Tigo's eyes widened. You say you're engaged. Does that mean Misty has an older sister? I thought that another new character from outside the game had appeared, but Father calmly shook his head. No, to Misty. Oh my goodness. Mother keeps glancing at me, and Tigos glares at me with his fists clenched. I thought I would say something, but I didn't. Engagement, it's true that royals usually have fiancés decided at this age, so it's normal. Besides, Father's decision is the king's decision. Even though Tigos and I are sons, we are still children and are not in a position to say anything. She's been coming to teach me dance recently, so it's not surprising that something like that would come up. It seems that we managed to return her to the history of the game, so there's no way she'll be removed from his fiancé. Incidentally, Sebas knows about it too, so he must have heard about her recent situation from her too. Glancing at Sebas, he saw him frowning. Yeah, hey, something seems strange about Sebas' expression. I have a bad feeling. Father, may I ask you a question? What? Who is your fiancé, me or Tigo? Well, I just wanted to ask just to be sure. It's really a final confirmation. Father sighed in amazement after hearing what I was saying. What are you talking about? So that's right, I think so. It's Tigos, of course. That's right. His words were so unexpected that I dropped my fork. and Laura was at a loss for words as she looked at father, seemingly wanting to say, "A lie." Tigos also blinked. Is that even possible? Episode 14, no reply yet, but the lesson continues. It seems that no reply has come from the Marquis Claudia household yet. Even though it was an offer from the royal family, the family is not small enough to say yes without hesitation. Especially Misty, the beloved daughter of the head of the family, read Claudia. I know from the game that even if she breaks off her engagement to the royal family, she still has enough power to marry someone influential in the end. But it's only a matter of time. No matter what, there's no reason to turn down an offer from the royal family. But why Tigos? I thought I was doing pretty well lately, but I guess it still wasn't enough. So I didn't get the position of fiancé after all. It might be a good thing because it seems like things will turn out differently from the game, but that doesn't mean Misty is engaged to someone other than me. That's kind of annoying. I feel depressed. Even if we had become engaged, I would never have let it end like that. I never thought it would turn out like this. Misty won't be coming again. I think it's time to stop practicing dance. There's no point in doing it. I walked there feeling depressed and found Misty there. Why? Looking at Rupert, he seems a little troubled. Good day, Sieg Sama. Oh, good morning, Misty. In response, Misty, who was next to him, was smiling, but the atmosphere seems more tense than usual. Sieg Sama, may I have a moment? Yes, is it about getting engaged right away? I was on guard, but that wasn't the case. I come from a place that's not far from the palace, but it's not close either. Yes, it's for Sieg Sama's dance practice. I was the one who suggested it, so it's true that I'm not in a position to say anything. However, it's getting closer and closer. Isn't it a bit strange for Sieg Sama, who lives in the royal palace, to be late? Don't you think so? I got scolded for being late. Well, all I can say about this is I am sorry. Yes, sorry. When I apologized sincerely, he coughed artificially. Let's practice then. The practice that day was very tough. After all, Misty's pressure was strong. Well, even though I am a little late today, I am still here. After Misty left, she told Rupert about what had happened that day, and he gave her a wry smile. But Lord Sieg is also at fault. Lady Misty was here and waiting for you long before you arrived. Yeah, why? Well, today you spoke clearly, unlike before. That's certainly true. Until now, she's always seemed to take a step back behind the men, so maybe that impression has changed a bit. But I feel like her straightforwardness was more like her in the game. Did something happen? I don't know. Why did it suddenly happen like that? Now that I think of it, why was Sieg Sama late today? That's unusual. I don't want to say anything about this case. If I tell them, it might make the engagement real. Even I oversleep sometimes. Oh, is that so? That's how it is. Sorry, I'll be more careful from tomorrow. No, Misty continued to come as usual after that. Her personality is also more lively than before, and I feel like we've become more comfortable with each other, which makes me happy. Soon after, I thought Sieg Sama was practicing dancing. There are more people here. Garam and Debut, who hadn't been seen for a while, arrived. Apparently he went on an expedition to hunt monsters within the kingdom's territory. Did these guys come all the way here on their day off after their expedition? Don't they know that it's okay to just relax at home? Even so, those are very fine clothes. I feel like I've seen this somewhere before. Nice to meet you. I am Misty Claudia. I've been looking forward to seeing you since you helped me the other day. Thank you for the time being. Misty bowed politely, and the two of them looked at each other with their hands over their mouths. The other day, Galam, look, that time when we had a fight with those guys. I see that time. But why did you come here? They both look at me. Don't look at me like you're saying the prince rejected you. She's helping me with dance practice. Oh, that's very. I understand how you feel. Sieg Sama. Dance is that thing. Debut looks at Garam, then at me. That's it. Don't say things like that. I'm still doing my best, and it's better than before. No, Sieg Sama is working hard. He has grown significantly since the first day. He is someone who can do it if he tries. It's not as the rumors say. He followed me, putting his hand on his chest. The two of them glance at me. What is it? Well, I agree with the second half. It's just a rumor after all. You seem to know it well. The two of them nodded with their arms folded. I don't know why you guys are acting all high and mighty, but we seem to get along well. Well, let me take a look today. I'm looking forward to seeing how much you've grown. By the way, how about we dance next to each other? Don't do that. And then the day of the welcome party arrived. Episode 15, Welcome Party Part 1. There's a party tonight. Everyone, please be careful not to be rude. After breakfast, Father said this while looking at everyone's faces. After that, Misty came over almost every day, and we never talked about the engagement. I didn't hear it either. I wonder how far the story has progressed. Father, I was feeling nervous inside, but Tigos made up his mind and spoke up before I could. What up? What happened to the talk of your engagement to Marquis Claudia? Nothing in particular, what's wrong? Home, Tigo's glances at me. I'm sure you know that Misty comes to see me almost every day. I understand that you're concerned. That said, I don't think she came to see me because she wanted to thank me for helping her out before, and I don't think she has any special intentions. But Tigos is probably worried. It seems that Misty has been coming to the royal palace a lot recently. Father exhales once and then looks at Tigos and then me. Sieg, why yes, you seem to be quite close with Misty, Claudia. I don't know if we're close. He's just helping me practice my dance. Father stares at me. I heard you had a fight with Elliot. Just a little, I see, Sebas. Yes, Sebastian pours tea into his father's empty cup. He took a sip of tea. Father looked at me and tea goes with a cheerful smile. I love you guys. There is no parent who doesn't miss their children. But his expression suddenly disappeared and he turned to glare at me with a serious look. I am the king. Sooner or later I must choose a successor. The order of succession to the throne is set, but that does not mean that in the end I will choose someone who is incompetent, even if he is my own son. I think what he's trying to say is that if Tigos and I were incapable of the role, there's a chance that Elliot, who is lower in the line of succession than us, could become the next king. Live each day with care. Yes, the halls of the royal palace are splendidly decorated. It was a grand welcome venue with lavish food and decorated rooms. The nobles present are not only from the royal capital, but also bigwigs who have territories in the provinces. Clothing and daily necessities made from cot, a specialty of the kingdom of Saren, are in high demand. Furthermore, if the Saren royal family remembers them well, they will have an advantage in negotiations with merchants, so there are many nobles who would like their faces to be remembered at least. Of course, that's nothing to do with me. As I was enjoying the food that I don't usually get to eat, a drink was brought to my side. It's coming out at a good time. He was happy and drank it all up. Hugh, delicious. Oh, come on, please stop choking and collapsing, okay. Wait, when I looked, it was Rupert, dressed in a gorgeous outfit, who had handed me the drink. Why is Rupert here? Sebastian prepared it for me. Well, I am a former nobleman after all. I see, then you should eat a lot, Rupert. The food here is hard to come by. Indeed, there are many things that even Rindal can't eat. He shrugged as he looked at the food. Come to think of it, isn't Rupert a noble in the Principality of Rindal? In the game, the ending takes about 6 months, so even if he becomes a friend, he'll say his job is done and go back to his country, but it seems like this guy won't go back. It will be like he's been poached from the Principality of Rindal, so I wonder if they won't be angry. Although he doesn't get along with the current duke, he is apparently the best knight in the Principality of Rindal. The party continued like this, and all that was left was dancing and greetings towards the end. I wonder if I can dance safely. As my turn approached, I was getting more and more excited, and then it happened. How beautiful, yeah. Hearing the slightly high-pitched voice, he popped his head out, munching on some chicken, to see a boy about his age kneeling and holding a woman's hand. Your silky, delicate hair, jewel-like eyes, porcelain-white skin, and bell-like voice make you seem like a goddess who has appeared in this world. I would like you to exchange vows of engagement with me. What kind of compliment is this that makes your teeth ache? The boy has brown skin, silvery hair and eyebrows, and yellow eyes. He's an incredibly good-looking boy. It was our first meeting, but I'd seen him before. He is Toprak Saren, the first prince of the Saren kingdom. He is one of the targets in the game Priraba and is nicknamed the Prince of the Desert. He will grow up to be a very tall and handsome man in the future, but right now he doesn't seem to be very tall. By the way, the one being wooed is my angel Misty. Maybe Misty's appearance is one thing, but she also has a constitution that makes her popular with all of her targets. Please wait. I tried to get in between them somehow, desperately trying to swallow the chicken by munching on my mouth, but Tigos got in between them before me. Who is it? I am Tigos Karin. Oh, I heard that he is a talented prince from the kingdom of Colin. That tone makes it sound like some people aren't the best. This is disappointing and I must correct this immediately. But the food in my mouth is quite hard to come by. Just a little more, just a little more. Sieg some. Thank you, no. I washed down the food still in my mouth with the drink Rupert gave me. Hugh, I feel refreshed. She is Misty Claudia, the daughter of Marquis Claudia of the Kingdom of Carlin. Please stop calling out to her. But why? It's not like he has a fiancé, is it? Or are you his fiancé? That's not yet. Tigos stuttered, probably because it hadn't been officially decided yet. If that's not the case, then I should be the one to call out to him. Right, but... Well, I am the Prince of Saren. You have no right to tell me what to do. Tigos' voice quickly became inaudible. Now, Misty-sama, would you be so kind as to dance with me first? No, Misty tries to gently refuse, but Toprak gently grabs her hand to stop her from getting away. You are beautiful even when you are shy. But please, wait a minute. He pushes his way through the crowd and takes the lead. Shall I let go of your hand? Episode 16, Welcome Party Part 2. Toprak narrowed his eyes at my sudden appearance. Really? Who is it this time? Excuse me, I am the first prince of the kingdom of Karan. My name is Sieg Karan. Sieg ah. He looked at me with a mixture of contempt in an instant. My reputation is so bad, someone must be spreading malicious rumors about me. I've been thinking about this kind of hate lately, but perhaps it's the invisible hand of God at work on this from the game's developers who are my biggest haters. I feel like there's an odd adjustment being made to the likability rating. I'm talking to her now, no outsiders should get in the way. Toprak instantly lost interest in me and returned his gaze to Misty. In an instant, my eyes met Misty's. The eyes speak louder than words. A high-pitched sound rang. The sound was that of me flicking Toprak's hand, which was holding Misty's, with all my might. Please don't touch me casually. You know who you're doing this to, don't you? Toprak glares at me. San Tigos whispers to stop. Father told me not to be rude this morning. That's probably why Tigos is trying to stop me. Do you know? I am the prince of the great kingdom of Saran, you know. So what? You know where you are and to whom you're spouting your big mouth, don't you? Carlin, I shield Misty with my body and glare back at Toprak. But then something strange happened. The noisy voices of the nobles suddenly became quiet. Then Toprak in front of me noticed the strange atmosphere and immediately became agitated, shifting his gaze. Not to me but to the people around me. What, is there something? Just as I was about to look around, Misty, who was standing behind me, gripped my arm tighter. Toprak seemed to notice the change and glared at me again. You're an outsider, but you behave like a knight. Or are you Misty's partner? No, yes, he is my fiancé, Prince Sieg. Picture, I almost turned around involuntarily. I was Misty's fiancé, even though I was the person in question I didn't know. Isn't that right, Sieg Sam? Ah, that's right, I'm Misty's fiancé. There's no choice but to say yes to this. It's what I wanted, but is it really okay to put Tigos aside? What's all the fuss about? Her father, Haruto, and the king of Saran, Rudolph, walked in with their guards. Like Toprak, Rudolph has brown skin, silver hair and eyes, and a chiseled face. Even his beard was white, and he had a dignified presence. While their subordinates went to explain to the two, Father. Toprak knelt and bowed. Rudolph narrowed his eyes at Toprak, then bowed to King Hart next to him. Excuse me, my foolish son. Haruto bowed in response. That's mutual. But Haruto looked at Toprak with a stern look. Prince Toprak, she's Sieg's fiancé. I can understand how you feel, but you need to give up. Isn't that right? Looking over, Marquis Red Claudio was standing by his side. I thought he wasn't by Misty's side, but I guess he was with Father. Yes, sorry. After being told this, Toprak could only apologize and back down. Well, now that that's been resolved, Haruto claps his hands and music starts playing from somewhere. Shall we go? Haruto and Rudolph pass by us and head to a higher position. See you later, Prince Sieg. As we passed each other, Rudolph looked at me and smiled. After a while, the music began to play, and the nobles gradually began to walk towards the large open space in the center. If this is the case, I have to go too. I quickly took Misty's hand and headed towards the center. When it comes to dancing, all you have to do is do it the way you practiced. Because of what had happened earlier, I had forgotten about my nervousness. As I was dancing, I looked over and my eyes met with Misty's. Misty smiled cheerfully. Sieg Sama, thank you for earlier. No, I couldn't help but go. But it's surprising, Misty Sama seemed like she could have flatly refused. The other person is the Prince of Saran. I cannot be so rude. That's understandable. Even Tigos was careful about it. Yeah, did I do something wrong? I feel like I've been quite rude. It's okay, I'm sure it's mutual. No, rather. Picture, what does rather mean? No reply came back. He raised his arm and Misty spun around. More importantly, I called Sieg Sama my fiancé. Yes, that's it. Are you sure it was me? I heard you didn't reply to Father's inquiry. Honestly, I thought it was too early for me to be engaged, so I was going to turn him down, but I never expected it to turn out like this. Well, that's certainly true. In that case, it's not like they'll just go back on it later after the people of Saran Kingdom have left. However, if I were to become a fiancé, I thought Sieg would be a good choice. Picture, Misty smiled brightly. I'm not very good at this, but I hope y'all help me. The music just ended. Before I knew it, the nobles dancing around us had disappeared, and before I knew it, we were the only ones left dancing until the end. He walked out from the center to thunderous applause. By the way, Sieg Sama, are you going to dance with someone later? No, I don't have any plans to do that, and even if I was invited, I would decline. Of course, because I am not confident in my dancing. If it wasn't Misty, who I practiced with, I am sure I would have stepped on her feet. It's too cruel to the other person. Is that so? When I came back, my hand was gone. My palm feels strangely hot because I've been holding it for so long. If you feel discomfort and open and close your hands, Misty-sama, please come with me next time. Tigos was asking Misty to dance. Toprak didn't come, but I wonder if Tigos is good. She was originally a potential fiancé, so I think she's good at dancing. That's what I thought, but Misty smiled and shook her head. I'm sorry, but just like Sieg-sama, I only dance with one person. Tigos watched Misty pass by in shock. Same as Lord Sieg. Is that what you mean? No, I didn't mean it that way. I was simply being reserved because I didn't want to cause trouble for the other person with my inexperienced dancing. Sieg-sama, His Majesty has called for you. Ah, yeah. Sebastian took me to see His Majesty and King Rudolph, and we were able to greet them without any problems. I messed up, but for some reason I wasn't scolded. In fact, it was so good that King Rudolph praised it. It's a complete mystery. Anyway, despite all the ups and downs, my time as an 8-year-old passed by. Episode 17, Seba's Diary. The prince has changed. Such is the rumor that is being whispered within the royal palace. Prince Sieg, the prince turned 8 this year, but he hates studying and runs away without even attending classes in swordsmanship or magic. He's a problem child who oversleeps every day and gets selfish and throws tantrums whenever something bad happens. Unlike Prince Tigos, who is 2 years younger than him and can do anything with ease, he has a terrible reputation. And what's worse is that he is first in line to the throne. The nobles who were listening to the conversation were watching from afar, and the maids and butlers were also spreading bad rumors. Both his father, King Heart, and Empress Laura were kind people, but they were both worried. In particular, King Heart, due to his own past experiences, seems to be watching the situation carefully, even though he finds Prince Sieg adorable. As I was watching, I was beginning to think that this might not work. Prince Sieg hit his head. I was running down the hallway and I slipped and fell, but it didn't seem like a big deal after that, so no one paid it any attention. But early the next morning, Prince Sieg's personality had clearly changed. Prince Sieg usually does unexpected things and doesn't really listen to what other people say. At first, no one noticed anything unusual. However, I know this because I watch Prince Sieg on a regular basis. Something seems strange about Prince Sieg. Sometimes I would see him looking in the mirror in his room and lamenting, "Why am I Zeke?" I watched him wondering if he had become even stranger than before, but then he suddenly became interested in studying swordsmanship and magic. Up until now, he'd always run away because it was too much trouble. I wonder if something happened. After that, we talked about the Principality of Rheindal, and he took his guards and headed to the Principality of Rheindal for an inspection. We decided that since it was a friendly country, there would be no danger, so we informed the Duchy of Rheindal that the prince would be going on an inspection. The reply was that rumors about Prince Sieg had already spread to neighboring countries, so to do as one pleases. It's a shame that they didn't even come out to welcome us. Soon afterwards, Prince Sieg returned. On that occasion, Prince Sieg brought back Rupert, the Principality of Rheindal's greatest black knight. Rupert is a knight whose name is known in other countries, but I hear he is an eccentric character who did not get along with the current Duke of Rheindal and was sent to a provincial city. What on earth did the prince do? Incidentally, the 2 knights who were assigned as guards had complained before he left, but recently they have been visiting the prince frequently. It seems like he's grown attached to me. Originally, I didn't like Prince Sieg either, and if it weren't for His Majesty's orders, I would have given up on him a long time ago, but recently. After that, Prince Sieg had a dispute with Elliot over Misty's affair but was not held accountable. Since then, Misty has been coming over more frequently. I knew that even before this incident, Misty had been looking with envy at the 4 of them, Prince Sieg, the 2 knights, and Rupert having fun. Even though Prince Tigos is right next to him, I have seen him many times only paying attention to Prince Sieg and the others. Maybe he wanted to be part of the circle. It's true that Prince Sieg's personality has become more mellow and cheerful recently, and he works hard every day at his studies in swordsmanship. The fact that they attract people is a good sign for those who will become leaders in the future. Would you like to watch over me slowly? That's what I thought, but it seems that His Majesty Heart has already pushed forward with the engagement between Prince Tigos and Lady Misty. His Majesty was busy and didn't seem to have read my report, so he didn't seem to know that Misty was helping Sieg with his dance at the royal palace. As soon as I told him about Sieg-sama's daily life recently, he started to get anxious. I think Prince Sieg, who was finally on a good path, will sulk and go back to the way things were. Your Majesty, if you're going to regret it later, at least wait until I hear the report. Although he pretended to be calm at breakfast, I know that His Majesty's clothes, which he changed into after the meal, were quite soaked with sweat, but I will keep quiet about it. Then the welcome party for the Kingdom of Saren began. I never thought that Misty would be proposed to by the prince of that country, and I also never thought that Prince Sieg would ultimately become Misty's fiancé. His Majesty was delighted in his heart. After moving forward with the matter, I was worried about what I would do if I actually accepted, so I am glad I did. Well, Marquis Red was keen on getting engaged to Lady Tigos, but when he didn't get a response, I thought that Lady Misty wasn't interested. So I thought I was okay. And Prince Toprak of Salen made a mistake. Lord Toprak's comments about the Kingdom of Saren being a great power and his blunders that seemed to look down on the Kingdom of Karan. It was a complete mistake to do that in front of the royal family and nobles of Colin. Until halfway through the performance, the nobles of Colin were watching it as an interesting spectacle. However, it was wrong for Prince Toprak to make a statement that made it seem as if he viewed the state of Karan as inferior to the state of Saren, as it challenged all of the Karan nobles to a fight. Prince Toprak was impressive in that he was the first to notice the change in the atmosphere around him, but he should have noticed it before speaking. As a result, the emperor and his companions, who had been watching the children with a fond look on their faces, rushed over to calm the situation. However, the opinions of those around Sieg have changed a little. It was impressive to see him bite back at those who were making fun of his country, knowing that it would put him in a worse position. It was partly forgivable because he was a child, but the fact that Lord Tigos had backed off so easily before him made it all the more noticeable. There were quite a few nobles sighing. There's no doubt that as a member of Karan, he showed that he would not give in to Saren. Elliot, who was watching this, had a complicated look on his face. Phew. I started writing this diary after being ordered by His Majesty to keep an eye on Prince Sieg, but it's gotten quite lengthy. In the first half, I was writing trash about Sieg Sama, but now. No, it'll stop here. That may change even more from now on. I don't know if it's for better or worse, but either way, I'm looking forward to it. Sebas smiled as he carefully put away the diary he had just written. Episode 18, A Story of a Small Beginning. How adorable. The Marquis is quite arrogant. What kind of jewel will it become in the future? Misty Claudia first stepped out into society when I was 7 years old. Without knowing anything, I just followed father around and greeted various people. She shows off the curtsy she practiced at the mansion to strangers in an elegant dress, and everyone was happy and smiled. As this was happening, the party attendees suddenly became noisy. Father, who was holding my hand next to me, swallowed hard and I could tell he was nervous. Misty, let's go. Father's steps are a little awkward. Who on earth is waiting? Just as I was thinking that, it appeared before me. Your Majesty, I hope you're well. Oh, Marquis Red Claudia, you're here too. It's only natural when it's a party hosted by His Majesty. Fearful father. This is the first time I've seen him, but I know this person. Is that your daughter? Yes, come on, say hello. Pushed from behind, I took a step forward and bowed politely. My name is Misty. I lower my head and glance at him. Hart Colin, the greatest and noblest man in this land. I'm grateful for such a polite greeting. You always boast about it. He gave me a gentle smile. Your Majesty, I am sorry to say this, but is Lord Sieg unable to come today? The moment father said the name, His Majesty's eyebrows twitched and his eyes narrowed for a moment. Sieg seems to be feeling a little unwell. He's in his room. I see. I was sure you would be able to come, but I guess there's nothing I can do about it. He's a little weak. Well, next year my younger brother Tigos will be 7 years old. He should be in better health by then, so I'm thinking of having him join the party. Thank you, I'm looking forward to it. With that said, His Majesty quickly leaves. My goodness, so it's just as the rumors say. After His Majesty left, father muttered softly. A year later, now that I was 8 years old, I was once again invited to a party hosted by His Majesty. Misty, yes, father. In the waiting room, father crouched down, supported my shoulders, and looked me in the eye. You are my proud daughter. You will now meet His Majesty and the prince for the first time. Yes, even if you feel uncomfortable seeing Prince Sieg's words, actions, and attitude, just bear with it. Yes. What is he talking about? Father stood up and put his hand to his forehead. Why? I understand that your Majesty is also going through a bit of hardship. Father sighed several times with a serious expression on his face. This is the first time I've seen my father look so unhappy. What kind of person is Prince Sieg who can make his father's expression cloud over to this extent? Although I felt a bit uneasy, I headed to the party hosted by His Majesty. The venue is as gorgeously decorated as ever. As before, I politely bowed to the nobles and headed towards His Majesty. My first impression of Sieg Sama was that he was a strange person. The greeting was good, but what was that moment before when he was looking up into the air and waving both hands? Furthermore, according to the words of His Majesty and the Empress, as well as the words of Tigos, who seems intelligent but still retains an innocent side, he seems to be a very problematic person. She has red hair and eyes and a beautiful face, but her teacher has run away from dancing, studying, and swordsmanship, so what exactly can she do? I believe he is first in line to the throne, but is that okay? There were more people than I expected and I felt uneasy. But I tried asking, "Do you dislike studying, Sieg Sama?" Then Prince Sieg said, "I don't really like studying, however. But that doesn't mean I want to become a foolish king who doesn't know arithmetic, culture, swordsmanship, magic, and politics too. I will definitely learn them because they are necessary." Is that so? After that, the greetings ended. This is truly troubling. On the way back in the carriage, Father groaned and put his hand to his forehead. It seems Father didn't like Prince Sieg. Misty, Prince Tigos will become a great man in the future. Yes, I nod in agreement with my father's words. However, Prince Sieg's words kept repeating in my head. I also study, cultivate my knowledge, manners, and magical skills every day. But I've never thought it was interesting. I don't like it, but I do it because I have to. That's similar to my way of thinking. I'll definitely learn it because it's necessary. Even if you ask His Majesty, did you say something? No, nothing. Hiding from my father, who tilted his head, I gave a small laugh. Episode 19, my first selfish indulgence. I am Misty. As the daughter of a marquis, I put in the necessary effort every day. Her father, Red Claudia, is well liked by His Majesty and is invited to the royal palace on every occasion. Furthermore, my father seems to have a high opinion of Prince Tigos, and he always tries to make time for him. I guess he's hoping to form a bond with Lord Tigos. I am, after all, the daughter of a marquis. I am not a great person myself. I simply say yes to father's orders. That's what a marquis daughter, a lady, should expect. Just, I am sorry, Sieg Sama. Well, it seems Debuto had his own ideas too, so don't blame him like that. But Sieg Sama, I feel like this is dangerous. HMPH, Lord Sieg, don't go easy on me. Gallum, protect your fellow knights. HMPH, shut up. While I was taking a walk with Lord Tigos, I came across Lord Sieg and his friends having a lively time in the second garden. Lord Sieg is called a useless prince, and I've only heard bad rumors about him, not only in the palace but in many other places, but from what I can see, that doesn't seem to be the case. He has a famous knight from the Duchy of Rheindal as his aide, and is also loved by the members of the royal capital knights who keep their distance from the royal family. Looks fun. What am I doing? Misty Sama, where should we go next? Yes, that's right. After that we resumed our walk, guided by Tigos. But before I knew it, I started to follow him with my eyes. Misty, my sweet Misty. One day, while I was in my room, my father came into the room cheerfully. Dad looks so happy. What's wrong? Yes, what's the matter, Dad? I finally did it. What exactly happened? Father spoke with a smile on his face, even as he ran out of breath. His Majesty has asked me about an engagement. Is that so? Proposal of engagement. I'm guessing it's the first Prince Sieg. The other day she went to the royal palace to practice dancing. I think it's still too early for me, but strangely enough I don't mind it. Then with Lord Tigos. That's great. Can I accept right away? I was actually thinking of making an immediate decision, but I wanted to hear Misty's opinion first. Misty. That day, even though I was still young, I must have had the most dazed expression on my face. But I quickly regained my composure and thought about it. Are you Tigos? What's wrong? Prince Tigos has a promising future. His older brother, Prince Sieg, still can't seem to break his habit of oversleeping. It's true that Tigos Sama has a good reputation among those around him and is praised by everyone, including father. But I know. It's true that Lord Sieg often oversleeps in the morning, but there's a reason for that. After waking up, apart from meals, I study swordsmanship and magic with the jet black knight I brought from the Principality of Rheindal until dark, and then I read books and study until late at night. I live like that every day without a break. I'll probably oversleep. Moreover, Sieg is loved not only by the Black Knights but also by the royal capital knights. When I went to the royal palace on a whim and was invited to dinner by Elliot, Sieg appeared dashingly and was the first to help me. Of course, I am the daughter of a marquis and I understand that my father's orders are absolute. However, Misty, father looks at me with a worried look on his face. Don't worry, I have no complaints about whoever your father thinks is best. I will never disappoint my father. Yes, I would be happy to accept your engagement to Lord Tigos. The words are on my lips, but I can't make a sound. Why me? What's wrong, Misty? Is there something? Father Knight. I lay down on the bed and let out a deep sigh. After all, it was the first time I had disobeyed Father's orders, but I have no regrets. I am sure the excitement I felt when you protected me from Elliot was no lie.